The Plague is the directorial debut of Charlie Polinger. He also wrote the movie. It's in pretty limited release. It wasn't even playing at my usual theater. I had to go a little more out of my way to find it, but I'm glad I did. This is about these 12 to 13-year-old boys who are at this water polo camp, and the main character is a little bit awkward, a little bit shy. He's not outright bullied, but he doesn't quite fit in. Like, they mock him playfully for certain little things. Like, he has I don't even know if it could be called a speech impediment, but he doesn't pronounce his T's very strongly. And so they poke fun at him. They pick at him for all these little things, making him feel a little alienated. He's trying to fit in with the rest of them. Meanwhile, there's this other kid who is clearly autistic or something along those lines, and also has this skin rash on his face and parts of his body. And he is the main target of the bullying. The kids say that he has the plague and they avoid him so that they don't catch it. And over the course of the movie, our main character starts to feel bad for the other bullied kid and starts getting a little bit closer to him. And as he does so, the other kids begin bullying him more harshly as well and avoiding him because he has now caught the plague. And then the rash actually starts appearing on his body. And this is a very relatable story to a lot of people. So many people have experience with bullying, ostracization, anything along those lines. I know I did. The music in this movie is practically horror movie music, and some of the shots we get of like close-ups of these kids' faces, sometimes it's framed like a horror movie, which is very appropriate because that's how it feels in the moment to these kids. This is like the end-all, be-all, most important thing in the world, that they're being made fun of or made to feel alone right now. It feels like this is the worst it's ever going to be. And it's very realistic. I absolutely felt like I understood our main character completely, because I was never personally the target of like real intense bullying, but I was certainly not a popular kid. Most of the kids in my class, I could say, were like acquaintances who I could get along fine with. But I was a little weirder, a little nerdier, and I did eventually gravitate towards the kids who were more bullied than I was, because I just knew I could probably get along with them better. I could talk about Pokemon and anime and shit with them, because this was a point when liking Pokemon and anime was not as socially acceptable as it is now, which I'm not bitter about at all. I know some of those bastards who made fun of me for liking Pokemon probably went on to get back into it themselves later. I just know it. Fuckers. But the acting is really good from these kids, especially the main character. He has a lot emotionally that he has to deal with as he is trying to fit in, dealing with these feelings of rejection that increase more and more as the movie goes on. The resentment within him that builds up towards the original bullied kid because he kind of blames him for all of these problems. All the other kids are great as well. Even like the ringleader of the bullies is not like, I'm gonna beat you up and take your lunch money. Like, he's a very realistic, messing with your emotions type of bully. Like, we're just playing around, whatever. Yeah, I poked fun at this thing you're deeply insecure about, but I'm a child, so I don't actually understand the implications of that and how that makes someone feel and why that's a bad thing. So, whatever, I'm just gonna keep doing it. It all feels very natural, which makes you want to punch most of these children in the face. And then Joel Edgerton is the coach, and he's really good too. And once again, it's handled really realistically. So much of this movie is frustrating because you want these kids to understand, to stop doing this shit, or how to handle it better. And you know they're just not going to. They're going to make bad choices constantly. And even with Joel Edgerton, you want him to be able to say the perfect thing that can just fix it. But you know that's not going to happen. He can basically just say the cliches. He can tell the bullies, how would you feel if it happened to you? And they don't care. He could tell the bullied kids, you can ignore them. You can just love yourself and it's going to get better and all this stuff. And it's not actually going to help in the moment. They're not going to get it yet. So there is this feeling of dread, even though it's kind of a drama about these young boys at camp. It's definitely a psychological thriller because it feels like something bad could really come of all of this. And it escalates to places that I did not see coming. It's certainly painful in certain ways having to watch such a realistic portrayal of this. It also is kind of funny. It has its moments of levity for sure. And I do really like the plague, this rash, as a metaphor. The fact that the plague appears after the bullying becomes harsher. It really just shows that once they decide that you have something about you that they don't like, just arbitrarily, therefore you now have it. Whether you actually do, whether it's even a real thing, they can even convince you that you have it. The only things I can say for negatives is that that metaphor is very obvious the entire time. The point is made completely clear. It's a little repetitive because of that. Feels a little overlong, even at only 90 minutes, because from the start, you know this is a message about bullying, you know what the plague represents, you know generally how it's going to go over the most of the runtime, and so it feels like the point has been made. And I didn't love the ending. Part of it is unsatisfying, kind of intentionally, I think, because again, it treats it realistically, and it doesn't always end satisfactorily. Sometimes you just have to hope that things are going to get better. I would have just liked it to go on a little bit longer. There was one person in the theater, when it ended, they went, "What?" And I was like, yeah, I get it. I get stopping there, but I would have liked it to go on a little bit longer. So this is definitely interesting for a directorial debut. I'm curious to see what else Charlie Polinger will do going forward. This is really well made. Again, I like how it kind of treats the concept with so much intensity, kind of framing it and scoring it as if it's a horror movie when in many ways it kind of is. It's a frustrating watch, but all these characters' actions feel completely natural with who they are, and it's a look into what remains and will seemingly always be a real issue. Because kids fucking suck. So I'd say it's like a solid 7 out of 10. It's not something I'd put back on to watch all the time, but it's really good. I might check it out again eventually, and I do recommend checking it out if you can at some point. And if you've seen The Plague, please leave your thoughts down in the comments. This was all just my opinion, so I would love to hear from you as well if you got on board with these characters, if you found any of it relatable, what you thought about the events as they played out and the ending. Let me know everything down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. If you want to see more from me, I appreciate it, and I hope to see you next time.